So that told you what was going on in Leaderville. It ended up being a one-day event, right? You look for follow-up selling. There was some, but now we're at all-time highs. We closed today 717.25 at all-time highs in the Nasdaq 100 and the S&P 500. So the names are working. Some fall by the wayside and get cut, but there's been an infinite, not an infinite number, but
A
there's
healthy
been
amount
a
rotation.
healthy
Yep.
amount. Yeah. Like I think I said in Monday's video, we cut 7 from last week, but there were easily 30 that I was trying to pick between to fill out that 21 for the video.
And for those ones that you pick, are they still earlier in their trend starting things, or can they? Because some, there's leaders, but just are trending extended. Like Hood right now, might not be buyable. It's trending. If you have it, there's no real reason to sell all of your position, but it's not necessarily buyable from a risk reward perspective at this point, for sure.
Yeah, something that has run like this, it's kind of late, it's stale, I guess you
Yep.
could say. We try not to put those in there unless there's been some kind of catalyst that really makes it an attractive stock.
Excellent. And yeah, I was gonna follow up and ask, does that 21 over 21 factor into the gauge that you include with the trend about what the direction of the leaders is?
That
The Yeah,
that's ex that's the
yeah,
exact that's what we go by, basically. Our portfolio, what the ones we own of that 21 over 21 or the Turbo 12, and how the rest of them are acting, as well as ones that are on the outside looking in. So kind of like a focus list and a leaders list. Additionally, we created something called an RG8 index, which is 8 growth ETFs. We also report on this every night in our videos. We want to see those 8 ETFs acting great too, because they're made up of the stocks that are in the pond that we fish in. So it's 8 growth ETFs, and FFTY is one of them. The IBD 50, ARK-K is another one.
hmm
The growth half of the Russell 2000, S&P 500, mid cap, S&P 400 mid cap. So a bunch of growth ETFs that we're trying to keep our finger on the pulse in growth land, because as we know, the market could be going up based on rotation into value names, not
right.
necessarily in growth names. But that's another reason to have the S&P 500 as a core, because you get the gains in those type stocks, and you don't get those nasty down days that can be soul killing.
Yep. And the ones that you need to know your open heat to be aware of that, so you're ready.
Right.
Um, again, focusing a little bit on how you find these names. Do you have go-to screens that you like to use, or and what would be a setup or a chart pattern that you would say, okay, this will be one that to focus on next week?
We're always looking at the relative strength line.
hmm
We that is that, and it being above the moving averages or approaching or clustered by the moving averages. That's something that is prime for inclusion in the list and or being bought. But no, I like to say no chart is complete without a relative strength line on it. Like for example, let's take a look at Hood, since we're
hmm
talking about it. Um, Actually, here I want to talk about a different one. Let's talk about Netflix.